Okay, hello everyone. I would say it's nice to see you, and it certainly means a lot to see so many of you. If you are able to turn your cameras on, I know it would be appreciated by many here, because that's one of the reasons we are here, is to see each other and to give strength to each other. Um, there is no blueprint for what we're experiencing right now, how to respond as a community. This has been obviously a very difficult, a very challenging time for everyone. And people have been asking, what's the response? What do we do? And there are many different approaches. First and foremost, we need to show support for Israel. We need to let everyone know where we stand, how hurt we are, how much pain there is, how much pain there is in Israel, how much pain there is in our own community, how much fear there is, um, and as well how strong we are, and this will we are broken, but this will not break us. We're brokenhearted, but this will not break us. Um, we need to speak up when we hear that dangerous game of moral equivalency. We have, on a number of times already in our own communities, we've seen messages going out from schools to students, giving them tools how to work with this when there's so much pain on all sides. And we've said, and we've stepped in, and parents have stepped in and said, this is not about all sides. This is about putting an end to terrorism. This is not about equating the responsible actions of a sovereign state of Israel with the horrific murder of terrorists. And we'll continue to speak out and make sure that a voice of moral clarity is heard. We show up in terms of finances and donations. The needs on the ground are quite tremendous. The 300,000 soldiers who have been called up, unprecedented, and there's a great need, and we're hearing this from our friends in Israel. So there are many ways to give. There are many funds. Buy Israel bonds. There's a way to support Israel in a really extraordinary giving way. Make donations to your federations. Make donations to your synagogues. Everyone is doing whatever they can, and we've been blessed to collect a good amount of money at the Shar through the Rabbi's Discretionary Fund, and keep donating. We'll make sure that gets to the right places. And call your friends and family in Israel. Make sure that they're safe. Make sure that they know that we're thinking about them, and that we're crying together with them, and that we can't wait to embrace them and hug them in person again. And that's really the reason we've come together, is to hear from our friends and family who are in Israel, and in particular, as a Shar Shamayim family, we have many who are there, including some beloved friends who are part of our spiritual leadership. We're blessed to have Rabbi Mark Fishman, and we'll hear from each of them, who's our director of adult learning. We're going to hear from Roi Azulai, who's our former director of music and has maintained a very strong connection with our Shar family, and Cantor Michael Moskovitz, who left Montreal just I don't know how long ago, just a week and a half ago or something like that, and entered a very different Israel when he returned home than the one we're talking about today. Cantor Moskovitz is the cantor for our parallel service, and I don't see him online. I do believe he's here, but we have a special guest as well, which is a very, very personal. He is here, and that's a very personal source of comfort for me, which is that my older brother Eric Shire, Dr. Eric Shire, has joined us. He's a physician. He's a pediatric emergency physician in Israel, and he's going to share a little bit with our Shar family some of his experiences as well. So Rabbi Mark Fishman is going to be chairing this event, but just to say that I know all of your being here means a great deal to me personally, because all as humans, and we're all looking for connections and contact and comfort, and seeing your faces and seeing your names is a great comfort. And I'll put in a plug as well for Shabbat. We're going to be hosting a special Shabbat service of solidarity. We'll have a special guest, the Consul General of Israel to Montreal, will be addressing us on Shabbat morning, as well as a number of others and special prayers. So our order here is Rabbi Mark Fishman is going to kick us off and tell us about the speakers we're going to hear from, and then at the end we're going to offer some prayers together for the state of Israel and for our holy brothers and sisters who are suffering in Israel, and for those who are defending the Holy Land, as well as for the captives, the heartbreaking scenario of those who are in Gaza, and we'll pray for their safe release. So Rabbi Fishman, I'm going to pass it over to you right now. Wonderful to see everyone, and may we come together in the future for Simchas.
Amen. Thank you very much, Rabbi Shia, and thank you everybody for joining us. I think the reason there are so many of us who are here today, right now, for this session, is because everybody has the sense of what can I do. Human being is just so naturally inclined to help, to want to offer support, to provide an act of kindness, an act of goodness. And those individuals who are not on the front lines of the army are all asking themselves, what can I do? And for those people who may be able to send financial support, as Rabbi Shia mentioned, it's one thing. For those people who are in Israel, perhaps opening their home to those who are displaced, cooking, cleaning, helping others. And especially those people in the diaspora, there is this sense of, is there anything I can do? And one of the ways that we assuage that desperate need is by simply following along, knowing what's happening, informing ourselves. I don't know about you, but I've been glued to the news, to the internet, to different news channels, to different website news publications. Social media is a part of that. And I think all of you who are here today are expressing this deep desire. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can do anything, but at least let me be informed. And when Rabbi Shia and I thought about this initiative, it was, let us hear from people who are living in Israel. Let us hear from people who are living this experience in Israel, from different perspectives and from a variety of voices. And so it is my pleasure and honor to be able to introduce Roy Azulai, who so many of you know fondly. For 6 years, he was the musical director at Congregation Shah HaShemayim. He's living now in Dimona. And Roy, I don't see you. I know that you are somewhere here on the meeting. I'm going to simply locate you.
I see him. I see him.
And now we're going to make you a co-host. And Roy, do you have the ability to unmute yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So happy to see so many familiar faces. This is not the best, not under the best circumstances, but I feel very connected to the Shah, and the moment everything started, I immediately contacted synagogue, and for the last few days I spoke to Cantor Zalmaier and to Rabbi Shire and to Rabbi Fishman about everything, to Cantor Moskovitz in Israel, and we shared our feelings, our experiences, and I have to say it is very without precedent. We woke up on Saturday morning to the sound of sirens. I personally, me and Jen, my wife, we we experienced the sirens in the last Gaza war in 2020, I think. And when we were we freshly arrived in Israel, and we here in Dimona we experienced a few days of alarm of the sirens, and I until today I have to tell you, like honestly, that each time I hear a motorcycle, I really think that I'm afraid that there is a siren, and it's like, it's starting, but then I say, oh, it's not that. Okay, so on Saturday morning we were hoping to wake up to go to shul with my dad to celebrate Simchat Torah, and 6:30 a.m. we hear the sirens. We wake up and we ran. I grabbed my little ones, and we take the big girls, and we ran to my parents' house. They live just across the street, and we stay in the shelter. Then we are trying to realize what's going on, and then we follow the news, and we realize that we are in a very, very bad situation. Luckily, Dimona didn't have any infiltration, but we were having alarms for 2 days, and it stopped. But I was trying to explain the kids what's going on, especially Rafael, the little one. He's in grade 1 now, and he's starting to ask questions. He knows about Israel, the army, of course, but I try to explain in a very delicate way. It's not easy. It's not easy while I'm receiving really, really bad news, and I have to pretend that everything is fine. In my personal experience is very strong, because last year I was working as interim director of the Eshkol Regional Council Conservatory. I got a last minute request of the director that she's going for a very long maternity leave with twins, and she couldn't do it. She had to. She's like advanced age and everything, high risk, so she had to go earlier. And I took almost the entire school year, and I got to know a very, very beautiful and warm community of the Gaza envelope area in Eshkol, which is mostly kibbutzim and moshavim. And during the year, I worked with these people, very, very special community, high values, high level, social, in terms of socioeconomical terms, it's like say a very high level community, and lots of people are dealing with agriculture and in this deeply in this business, and everything like from different factories, and I worked closely with the kibbutz Be'eri and kibbutz near Oz, which were deeply were the biggest losses were there, and I started to follow the news, and I realized that it wasn't just a simple infiltration. This was like just a massacre. we still don't know today how many people died there. They didn't publish the names of all the people. Probably they cannot identify some of the bodies. Chevra Kadisha and Zaka are working just with they don't have enough people to do it. It's just it's too difficult. I also contacted my colleagues there in Eshkol and just asking for news, but I didn't want to disturb because I knew that they have like they have too much to deal with. I 2 days ago I was following the social media and I saw one of the videos Hamas published when he kidnapped people from their homes, and I saw a face of a 12-year-old boy, and I said to myself, I know this boy, but I wasn't sure. So I went to my computer and took the files of last year to verify that this is the boy, and then I realized it's him. He was kidnapped. Erez Calderon. He was kidnapped and dragged by Hamas like a poor animal, all the way to Gaza with his father and his sister, and from all of them from Kibbutz Nir Oz, and in addition, the Hamas kidnapped also his grandmother, Carmela. She's 80, and his cousin, who were with the grandmother at the time. She's 13 years old with special needs. So the 5 of them are now in Gaza, and today I called the people from Eshkol, and I also published something on Facebook with this video regarding this boy, and I was watching it and I was devastated also to think that it could have been my son at the same time. So it's just unbearable. In Dimona, the city already had 8 funerals of people from the city, 4 civilians: Dina Kapister, Valerie Friedman, Liam Bor Galon, and Matan Zanati. Probably I know that two of them are the young ones were at the festival, the party, the big forest party they called it. They had in Eshkol, and the 2 others I don't know. I couldn't find out information about it. It's very recent. I think the names were published today. In addition to the 4 of them, they had 4 military funerals of Corporal Lior Levy, a 19-year-old girl, Sergeant Barak Yaakov Ben David, 19 years old, and 2 police officers, Advanced Staff Sergeant Major Malik Karim and Yakir Blochman. When I went to do some groceries, you can feel the pain everywhere. People don't talk a lot. It was 2 days ago. The army published by mistake recommendations for for wartime, and they published what list of things you should have in your protected area, and it was just a very general message. But it was, the timing was very bad, and they published again that it's not something like specific. It's just was a general message. But people went to the supermarkets and they just took everything. If I go now to the supermarket, I don't find anything. It's like it's crazy. Even like basic stuff like milk or toilet paper or whatever, everything is empty. So it's there was a big panic when my two nephews, two sons of my brother Eitan, they are Idan, who is in the Givati Recon. It's a special combat union. He was on vacation from the army, and on Saturday morning he was called immediately to go to Gaza. And my other nephew, his bigger brother Omri, he's 22, finished the army in Shirion, and he was called also during that night to join the reservists in the northern border. My brother is having a very, very difficult time right now. We are, as an educator in music, we don't have schools right now. We don't have anything. Kids are at home. It reminded us the beginning of the pandemic in terms of being everyone at home. We don't know what to do. We don't know how long it's going to take. We have no idea. Trying to be optimistic and have faith in our army, in our capacity as a united people. In the music schools, we are trying now to organize an ad hoc curriculum just to keep the connection with the kids, especially with kids who are in very dangerous areas, who were evacuated to the Dead Sea or to Kibbutz En Gedi or to Eilat. And also for them, we are trying to build some content, something that will distract them from what happened. I was nothing is clear right now. As I said, nothing is clear. We don't know. I was supposed to give almost 15 concerts in the month of November, and as I see it right now, this is going to last for quite a while. The government and Tzahal are they talk to the population on a daily basis, a few times a day, and we get the feeling that it's going to be a very, very long fight. So we are trying to prepare ourselves for some very difficult months ahead.
Roy, I'd like to thank you very much for your words. I know that these are difficult words, and we can hear the hesitation and the pain in your voice. There is really so much pain at this time. I almost feel like I'm cutting you off, and I know that you could continue speaking, and there will yet be other opportunities. We do have a group of additional panelists, and I would like to move on. And so thank you very much, Roy,
Welcome.
for sharing your words with us. The next speaker is going to be Michael Moskovitz. I'm going to ask Michael and Dr. Eric Shia and myself to keep our remarks to just 6 minutes. We started a little late, and the program was supposed to finish at this time. So to give everybody here an expectation of how much longer, let us say approximately another 25 minutes. This program will be approximately another 25 minutes. So moving ahead, I would like to invite Cantor Moskovitz, who is going to share some words. Cantor Moskovitz, as Rabbi Shia mentioned, was just at the Shah for the high holidays. Cantor Moskovitz is a resident of Israel, a former member of Tzahal. He has served in the Israeli army. And we pass over to you now, Cantor Moskovitz. Please unmute and share some words with us.
Yes, shalom everyone. Actually talking to you from the more safe room at the house. Yeah, so first of all, I would like to say that myself and my family, physically, we're okay, as much as okay as possible now. We're all safe and we're all sound. We also, we woke up, I woke my wife up in the morning. I said, like, what are we hearing here? Sirens, ambulances, what's going on? And then we started hearing booms and rockets falling all over the place. There's lots of pain. Like, it's very hard, and there's so many stories going on. But actually, I would like to talk more about the bigger picture. And I don't know where to start. What I want to say, I want to build here, that we are living in a
Cantor
historic moment.
Moskovitz, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Audio is not coming across very strongly. I don't know if it's the quality of your microphone or the quality of your Wi-Fi connection, but we're having trouble hearing you. If you could speak a little louder, please.
Yeah, let's try. Is this better? You hear me?
Yes, please perhaps hold the device closer to you and speak louder.
Yeah. Okay. So I was saying that I want to create a bigger picture. Israel is actually changing now. What was is not going to be anymore. Like it's like after the Yom Kippur War, Israel changed completely, and the world changed completely, the Western world. And this is what's going on now, and there's this of like people taking care of each other, WhatsApp groups opening, like immediately hundreds of, I don't know how many thousands of groups of hitchhikes, WhatsApp hikes. Don't have to lift your finger, just through the WhatsApp. Like, we need soldiers to get here, we need soldiers to get there. The wife of this soldier needs help here. She has to go home. She has to reach her parents. They can't, like, amazing stuff, unbelievable stuff going on. Groups of help, unbelievable. The youth are going to women who their husbands went to the army to take care of the kids and to do laundry. My daughter goes volunteering. Amazing stuff, unbelievable. So food to take to the soldiers. So, like, the whole nation came together. Think about it. Like 2 weeks ago, we were in this Mishigas, in this reform, in this unbelievable argument. Everything is finished. That's it. Done. No more. Everyone is up. Everyone is standing up and doing stuff. Absolutely amazing. And I want to say another thing. I don't know how it will be accepted, but I'm going to say it anyway. Basically, a concept of 30 years that we were waiting for it, like many people here were waiting for it to finish already. The the concept died. That's it, finished. The concept of Oslo died. There's no more. People understood, like, I want to tell you, what happened is in this first day of war is worse than the Kristallnacht. It's worse than a day in Auschwitz. Just think about it. And people here in Israel, they sat down, like woke up and they said, the Nazis are coming again to kill us. Hamas equals Nazis. It's in our blood. We know what it is. We feel it. We know what it's all about. And the people of Israel just stood up and said, we established the state of Israel to not have another Holocaust. And this is how it's going to work. And so now everybody realized who is the enemy and who we have to win. Enemies are there to be wiped out, not to make peace with. And that people just they understood it. It was a disillusionment. People woke up, they got sobered. In 1 second, now we understand everything. So we are really in a historical moment that Israel is going to change. The people realize there's no more right and left as it was. This is something. There's a major change, and I want you to just grasp it. And last thing I want to say is that Hamas is not only in Gaza. Hamas is in the western, by what they call Judea and Samaria, like free Palestine. What it literally means is free Palestine, free occupied territory from Jews. And Hamas in Gaza was very popular, and Hamas is like free Palestine. People who shout now, after what happened, people who shout now free Palestine, they are saying we like whoever supports them supports nothing. This is reality. Now we understand. Here in Israel, we know who the enemy is, and there's like crystallization who the enemy is. Like the Arabs in Judea and Samaria, the Arabs down in the Jordan Valley, and some of the Arabs in Israel are all Palestinians, free Palestine.
And to Moskovitz, I'm going to
know who the enemy is.
I ask for your apology. Thank you so much for your insights and your perspective and your heartfelt words. We can feel your emotion in your words, and we thank you. We thank you so much. We
Thank
are
you, and be strong.
Thank you. We are going to move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker has a last name that you will recognize. It's Rabbi Shia's older brother, Dr. Eric Shia, is the director of the pediatric emergency room at Kaplan Hospital in Rehovot, and he lives with Modi'in with his family. He is the eldest of the 6 Shia siblings, and to hear the perspective of somebody directing the pediatric emergency room, although his remarks do not have to be limited to that alone, we are now going to move over to Dr. Eric Kaplan. Rabbi Shia, I do not see your brother on the Zoom. If you can spotlight him for me. Very good. Thank you. Dr. Shia, if we can ask you please to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, good. Good. Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I was asked to share some of my experiences in the last week, and a lot of what I wanted to say has been said by the prior speakers, and well said. And so I reached out to my colleagues. um, I woke up Saturday morning. I worked Thursday late into the night, and then I got up Friday and rounded. So I was pretty tired going into Shabbos, and thought I'd sleep in on Saturday. And I woke up at about 6:30. I heard what sounded like thunder in the background. It wasn't supposed to rain, and it became clear that it was shelling, and then there were sirens, but it all sounded very, very far away. I immediately opened the phone up and started to get on the emergency room chat boards and see what we were hearing, and it became clear that we were shelling, that we were getting shelled, and that there were 22 Israelis who were killed in an attack. And then from there, it almost became like the beginning of COVID. There was just a lot of rumors, a lot of videos that were shared on the WhatsApp groups. I mean, I can recall the first video that I saw of terrorists in what we call a tender, in a mini truck, driving around Sderot, randomly shooting. And then it was followed immediately by, oh no, that's fake news. And other people said, no, you heard it from someone, it's real. And then as the morning unfolded, we realized that the shelling was nonstop. And at about 11 a.m. I went in to the emergency room to go help, and was there through the following morning. And there has been we're 6 days into this, and there's still, as Roy said, we're still identifying people. There's still a lot that we don't know. What we had hoped were rumors and fake news in the first few days of the attacks turned out, unfortunately, to be true. And my experience has really been, I mean, I live in Modi'in. We had, thank God, only 2 sirens, I believe, on Saturday. I work in Rehovot. Rehovot has on and off, that area has been shelled almost nonstop. And the rest of my week was a mix of taking care of patients, updating myself. We have a war room now. Our emergency room kitchenette was repurposed as a war room for the administration to be able to coordinate resources, and we're seeing people, refugees from Sderot, refugees who were sent from their homes from Sderot and Ashkelon, who are coming up, to family members, to Israelis opening their homes. There was one rabbi who appealed for places, and within 2 hours was able to house 6,500 families across the country with other Israelis who've opened their homes. We've seen tremendous heroism. We treated a soldier who was about to undergo life or limb-saving surgery, and he said, "Am Yisrael Chai," as he went under anesthesia. And that's something that we've heard over and over again from people who are not necessarily religious, but there's this sense of Am Yisrael Chai. There's this incredible unity. Another one of my colleagues, and I should finish my previous sentence, the other thing I've been doing over my week is redoing the schedule as more and more doctors are drafted, and we have to stretch thinner and thinner. So one of my other colleague, pediatric emergency physicians, who is now serving outside of his family's home in Netivot, so he got down to his base and saw that their medicine supply was limited and out of date. The resources had to be employed so quickly, and really were stretched thin. And so a lot of what the Israeli army is asking for donations. And I'm hearing from soldiers how important socks are, and how important medicines are. So he reached out to his community in Rehovot for help, and within an hour, they had basically bought him a pharmacy. Family by family, they came with their donations of medicines, and now his base is fully supplied. We've seen unbelievable tragedy. I don't need to repeat all the stories that you've heard on the news. We have treated children who've been orphaned. One who was a new immigrant had come within weeks of losing his parents, and just unbelievable unity, as Roy and Cantor Hershkovitz said. Everybody across the spectrum, regardless of political orientation, everybody's coming together. Everybody knows somebody who was killed. We had a critical care doctor, pediatric critical care doctor, who was father of 7, who was killed yesterday. We have had people in Modi'in. I have had people who I worked with in a hospital who were killed either as soldiers responding or as visitors to the south. Everybody knows somebody who serves. Everybody's family has someone who serves. And so when I drive to work now, I pass an army base. I drive up Route 40. One of the things I've bragged about in my employment situation is that I actually work at the closest hospital to Modi'in, and the hospital with the least amount of traffic on the way. Route 40 is always open for me in every direction, and it passes an army base. 360,000 Israelis are being mobilized, and there's nowhere to park. This has never happened before. Israel has never had to prepare for such a massive mobilization. And so Route 40 is now almost a 1-lane road. People are just putting their cars wherever they can in order to be able to serve. People are clamoring to serve. It's hard to get flights back in to Israel. People are clamoring to come back in to be a part of what's a historic moment. So I really didn't have much to say, so I turned to my colleagues about a half an hour ago. As I said, I had we're a very small group of pediatric emergency physicians. We have, I believe, a total of 7, if I'm not mistaken. And so to lose 2 emergency physicians to a call up, and actually 3, sorry. As of several days ago, we had a 3rd who was, it's called Tzav Shmona, and when you're drafted. And so I turned to them. And so the one who is serving in Netivot, so he writes to me, I'm just going to translate from the Hebrew, that the nation of Israel, and he writes Am Yisrael, which is a phrase used more and more as we're seeing. And we had tonight in Modi'in, we had a rally. There's people spontaneously picking up flags, dancing, walking, marching down the street. So he writes, Am Yisrael chazak yoter mikol oivav, that Am Yisrael is stronger than all of its enemies. We have incredible cohesion, very high motivation, very high. And one of my other colleagues is serving up on the Lebanese border, and he writes that this is a war for our existence. That Be'eri, one of the kibbutzim that was in the slaughter, that Be'eri will be built again. Be'alumim, in Alumim, one of the other communities, they're already squeezing fruits. And after a good rain, there will be kalinio, there will be poppies growing again in the killing fields in Re'im. in another southern settlement. Am Yisrael, without any connection to political opinion or origin, mitzufaf sherut v'yotzer krav, lines up and marches into battle. This is a historic hour, and we were chosen to be a part of it. We did not request this war, but we will fight with all of our strength, and we will prevail. Al tira Yisrael, al tira. Do not fear, Israel, do not fear. And those are the messages that I received from my two colleagues who were serving, one up by Lebanon and the other in the south. And I think at that point, by my clock, I think my 6 minutes is up, so I will limit my remarks to that. But thank you all for having me. This was a great honor to be a part of this.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shia. Your words are chilling, truly, to hear of the loss of a pediatric surgeon who went into the army to serve and has now been killed in action. Is every single precious life is unique. I don't know, somebody who's dedicated their entire life and they're learning and schooling and then working hours for the protection and health and healing of children. It is chilling to hear that particular anecdote, that particular story that you shared with us. Thank you, and for all of your other words as well. I am going to now share a few words myself. Hopefully, people know by now that the Shah Hashemayim launched last year the Shah Learning Center. And I'm the director of adult learning, heading up the Shah Learning Center's classes and courses, both in person and online. We made Aliyah, my family and I, 1 year ago, a little over a year ago, 13 months ago. And it's I'm not going to share the prepared remarks I had, because through Dr. Shia, Cantor, Moskovitz, and Roy Azulai, a lot of what I was going to say has been said. Instead, and I think this is perhaps even more powerful, I would like to read to you messages that I received today from my local WhatsApp group that is situated among a small community of families that are just 3 roads here in Efrat. Efrat is an enormous community of 14,000 people today. 3 particular roads in the community of the Zayit neighborhood have banded together with a community WhatsApp group chat. And I want to share with everybody who is on the call the messages that I received within the last 18 hours. I will choose 10. I will choose 10 messages I want to share with you to give you a snapshot of what I'm hearing, what I'm listening to, what is needed, and what is being requested. Number 1. Is anyone driving back to Efrat from Givat Shmuel today? Ideally, I need someone who's armed. My sister-in-law is in her 9th month of pregnancy, and her husband was drafted, and she wants to come to Efrat to be with her son, but she doesn't have a car, and she's scared of driving without someone who has a weapon. Please, can someone give her a lift who has a weapon? It's a 9-month lady, a lady in her 9-month of... Number 2. Volunteers desperately needed. The Gush Etzion wineries urgently need volunteers for this week and next, as a late harvest of grapes are needing to be harvested, and all of the workers at the winery have been called up for army service. The entire collection of grapes will go to waste if they're not harvested this week and next. Number 3, my husband and I went to Dublin and pay our respects to a family of a lone soldier from London, England. If anyone would be able to pay their respects, here is the address. The family is sitting shiva for their son and brother who was killed, and they're currently alone and there are no visitors. Please, can you show up at the shiva? Number 4, a different shiva. Is anyone driving to the shiva this morning? I would like to go and visit. I need a lift. Number 5, can you please repost? My brother's unit is looking for 60 mattresses that can be used on the field to be laid out on the floor. They need to fold up as small as possible. He'll pick them up, whatever is available. Today, he's on his way up to the north. He's going to make a stop off in Efrat via his base. Number 6, I will be at the Kotel shortly to pray for our soldiers and Jews around the world. If you have a relative on the front lines in the reserve that got called up, please send me their names. It's just unbelievable. The care, the concern. Number 7, come and tie tzitzit for our soldiers. Our soldiers, both secular and religious, are asking for Hashem's protection through the wearing of tzitzit. Let's help them. We wish to tie extra pairs of tzitzit. They are all being donated to anyone who wants them. Number 8, I'm looking for volunteers for my son's yeshiva who are armed and who are willing and able to help out his yeshiva drive equipment to the soldiers to the front line. Please let me know if you're available. We need it as quickly as possible. Number 9, Chesed Shel Emet. I'm looking for physical manpower in the next 2 hours for help digging 3 kfarim, 3 graves in the Kfar Etzion cemetery for fallen soldiers. There are simply not enough people digging graves. Number 10, I'm leaving my house now to Har Herzl to dig additional graves. A message has gone out requesting, if anyone wants a ride and wishes to participate with me, I'm leaving my house now. This is a snapshot of 10 messages that I received today in a community WhatsApp group. The sense that I want to leave you with is that the casualties of death have been so many. People haven't been able to keep up digging graves for them. Another point I wanted to share with you is that you see walking through the streets 21-year-olds in their army uniform. Like, the streets are packed with people who have finished their army service. They're 22, 23, 24. They should be in university. They should, whatever it might be that they should be doing. And you just pass them in the street and you know that they're going on their way, having been called up in the reserves. And the thought that passes through my mind, you'll excuse me, it's an agonizing thought. Will I ever see that person again who I just walked past? There has been a discussion on a rabbinic community WhatsApp group in a different direction, passing around conditional divorce documents, a get, for religious male soldiers who are going to the battle lines, who are handing it to their wives. And the conditional divorce says, should I be lost in battle and my body not returned, and there is a doubt if I was killed or not, I hereby give you a bill of divorce today that will later on become effective to you. So that, God forbid, a woman should not be left as an aguna, a chained woman. This is a snapshot of what's happening in Israel today. And I hope that together with the previous panelists, we've been able to give you a sense of the tragedy, but also the hope. There have been hopeful moments. People have been volunteering, spoke about that effort to give sit. People have been dropping off food. People have been babysitting. People have taken an entire, any opportunity possible. One of the things I wanted to show you, I think it's a little too late, is that my wife, God bless her, hosted all of the American girls at the Migdal Oz seminary. I believe they've just left. I wanted to take my computer downstairs and show you all the girls. Migdalos is a kibbutz right next to Efrat, and it's famous for having a high-level advanced women's seminary, mainly Israelis, but there are Anglos who go to learn there every year. And I'm told that they're still here. This is impromptu and it's a little less than polished and professional, but stay with me. I'm going to walk through my house. I'll just explain what's happened. All of the men who guard the community, were called up on reserve duty. And so that left the kibbutz without the proper security and protection. What happened is that all of the Israeli girls went back to their families, but all of the Anglos were now not allowed to stay at residence because of the lack of security. So they have been sleeping in a variety of homes here in Efrat. A call went out to the community, just like I read you the 10 messages previously, and the message was responded to by my wife, and she said, I'll put on a barbecue for 30 girls. So we've had 30 young ladies, 30 young women in our home simultaneous to this Zoom meeting being fed by my wife. And I'm going to go and check on them. I'm going to pass over to Rabbi Shia. You'll excuse me, Rabbi Shia, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'll pass over to you. I'm going to stop my video and hopefully turn it back on in 1 minute, okay?
Okay, fantastic. And actually, thank you, Rabbi Fishman. Rabbi Shire is going to turn it over to Dr. Shire. So Eric had wanted to contribute just a few more words.
You hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. I just wanted to say I am on the pediatric emergency WhatsApp group as I'm participating in this webinar, and we just learned that the woman who ran the coffee kiosk was killed. This happened 6 days ago, to give you a little sense of the scope of this tragedy. This happened 6 days ago, and we're just learning. They were just identifying her now. Her name was Uriah, and you should have her in your thoughts this Shabbat. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. Yeah, we have many people to think of, and our prayers are going to include remembering those who have fallen, who were murdered by the terrorists, remembering those who have fallen in battle. We are going to have to, again, this is unprecedented for us right now, but we're going to have to think of what it means to pray for the hostages. And our practice a number of years ago when Gilad Shalit was a hostage was that we named the hostages by name. And what do you do when there are hundreds? So we will certainly be remembering, Eric, the people who you've worked with and you've known personally, and we all have personal connections as well. I'm going to turn it back to Rabbi Fishman.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi Shia. I am here in my kitchen, and I was just mentioning that we have a group of very courageous, wonderful young women who are spending the year in Israel learning, and because of the situation, a call went out. Can somebody help with the barbecue? And my wife, my darling wife, was able to say yes, and I wanted to just show a brief little snapshot of the young girls who are here. Most of them have gone. There was a large group of around 30 who were here previously, and these incredible women are learning in Israel and taking the time.
Rabbi Fishman, did I see a Westmount lacrosse sweatshirt in that group of girls?
That's a sharp eye. That's a sharp. Yes, we might be in the West Bank, but Westmount lacrosse is represented.
Hello to Avia Shire.
Yes.
We just had a beautiful evening where we heard from every single one of these girls about how they have been volunteering in their own ways, contributing to moms whose husbands are on Miluim, to families who just feel overwhelmed at the moment. And each one of these girls has been absolutely inspiring in their own right in terms of how much they are contributing right now. And I can tell you that just from hearing from Racheli, their teacher, that these families have not stopped thanking them morning, day, and night in terms of how much they are helping them and their own children in this time of need. So these girls deserve really a tremendous thank you.
Kol hakavod.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, at this point, we are going to conclude our program, and we're going to conclude with tefillah.
Wait, Rabbi Fishman, if I can just jump in for a moment, because we
Yes.
are going to conclude with tefillah, and it's really amazing to see. Firstly, my brother, my daughter on the same call. It's a family reunion, a family get together. A number of our siblings are also joining us to catch up. So this is our Shar family, and this is the Shire family also who are here. We are, prayer is what we do, and we are going to pray for Israel. We're going to pray for, as we said, we're going to pray for all of you and for your safety. This is something, and one thing that's been said is it's close to home. And you have shown us that, just how close it is to home, and you reminded us how personal this is, and the losses as well. I spent the afternoon together with the family of Alex Look, who's the 33-year-old Montrealer who was murdered by terrorists in those first moments of attack. And there is a Shara Shemaim connection, as his mother taught for many years at our foundation school. And so I had a chance to sit with them and tell them as well that their son's memory is going to be a part of our community and our commitment. We have a lot of responsibility ahead of us, and that starts with our prayers. But we will have plenty of time to pray from Montreal for Israel. But we wanted to turn it over to our friends in Israel to hear these prayers, so that we, from wherever we are, I know there are many people here from all over the world, but the Zoom based in Montreal or centered in Montreal, that wherever we are, we can say Amen to your prayers from Israel. Rabbi Fishman.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi Shia. We will have 3 prayers which will be said to complete the program for this evening. We will have a prayer for the Shalom LeMedina, the well-being of the state of Israel. That will be followed by a prayer of healing, a prayer for a refuah shalema for all of the individuals who are so desperately in need, some fighting for their lives. And we will also conclude with a prayer for our chayalim, a prayer for the success of the Israeli army and their well-being. I call upon Roy Azulai to offer the first prayer for the welfare of the state of Israel.
אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו. הגן עליה בעברת חסדך, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך. ושלח אורך ועמיתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך. חזק את ידי מגיני ארץ קודשנו, והנחילם אלוהינו ישועה, ועטרת ניצחון תעטרם. ונתת שלום בארץ, ושמחת עולם ליושביה. ואת אחינו כל בית ישראל, וקודנה בכל ארצות פזוריהם. ותוליכם מהרה קוממיות לציון עירך, ולירושלים משכן שמך. ככתוב בתורת משה עבדיך, אם יהיה נידחך בקצה השמיים, משם יקבצך אדוני אלוהיך, ומשם ייקחך. והביאך אדוני אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר ירשו אבותיך וירשתה. ויטיבך וירבך מאבותיך. ויחד לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך, ולשמור את כל דברי תורתך, ושלח לנו מהרה בן דוד משיח צדקך, לפדות מחכי קץ ישועתך. הופר בהדר גאון עוזך על כל יושבי תבל ארצך, ויאמר כל אשר נשמה ואפו, אדוני אלוהי ישראל מלך, ומלכותו בכל משלה. אמן. סלע.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. We now call upon Cantor Michael Moskovitz to provide the prayer for the healing of the sick.
And I'm going to sing it. לך רפואה שלמה לכל חולי עמך בתוך כל יושבי תבל ונאמר אליהו לך רפואה שלמה לכל חולי עמך בתוך כל יושבי תבל ונאמר אמן.
Thank you very much, Cantor Moskovitz. I will now say a tefillah for the members of the Israel Defense Forces. Mishberach Avatenu Avraham Yitzhak Yaakov, hu yivarech et chayalei tzva hagana Yisrael v'anshei kochot habittachon ha'omdim al mishmar etzenu v'ar Eloheinu migvul halavanon v'ad midbar Mitzrayim min hayam hagadol ad labah ha'arava b'chol makom shehem v'yabasha ba'avi v'yam yiten Adonai et ohavenu hakamim aleinu negafim lifneihem Kodesh Baruch Hu yishmor v'yatzel et kol chayaleinu mikol sara v'suka mikol nega machala Yishlach bracha b'atzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yedehem. Yadbes anenu tachtehem v'atrem b'ket Yeshua v'ateret nitzachon. V'kiyemhem b'hakatuv ki Adonai Elohechem ho'alech imachem lelachem lachem im oyeveichem lo'oshi v'nomar amen. May He who blessed our ancestors bless the members of the Israel Defense Forces and all of those who protect and secure its land. And let us say amen.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Fishman. Thank you to our distinguished panelists, to those who joined us, to Roi, to Michael, and to Eric. This was really an extraordinary way to connect to each other and to feel closer to you in Israel. We're gonna stay connected, of course, and our community will remain strong, and we're gonna continue to communicate with you ways in which we can all be together, and that starts on Shabbat morning. If you're able, please do join us for our Shabbat of Solidarity. And we have recorded this, and we'll make this available to the community as well. I think this was a very important messages that we needed to hear. May we hear Besorot Tovot. May we hear good news. May Am Yisrael have nechama, have comfort. This is, again, there's no blueprint as to how to deal with any of this, and these are worlds that have been destroyed by terrorists who have no moral compass and who have really done the worst that are beyond what humanity can imagine. But this is the strength of Am Yisrael, is that even to this we respond, and we respond with these prayers and with these words of comfort for each other. And I hope we can be together with our friends in Israel very soon, so we can embrace in person and show each other how close our family and how close the Jewish people are. So thank you all for being here. We're going to end with that and with the prayer of Oseh Shalom Bimromav. May God, who has made peace on high, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael. May God make peace for all of us. And it speaks of an essential peace. It's not just a peace in our homes, but it's a peace of our spirit, that we can rest, that we can sleep again, that we can have comfort again and not be distressed by what's happening. And I'll call Yisrael, for all of Israel, wherever they are, especially our brothers and sisters who are blessed to be living in the Holy Land of Medinat Yisrael. Thank you all, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Toda Rabba.
Thank you.